Hello, Attactioneers. Welcome to the Attack Action Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Morrow, and I've been rewatching the Alien franchise.
I'm your host, Colin Honigman, and I ate Taco Bell after our last recording, despite what Blake said.
My name is Blake Meyer, and I'm blunking on him right now.
And I'm Zane Johnson, and I did not buy a lot of Rosetta, unlike Blake.
Wow, going off script already. Love it. Good energy, guys. What is up? Colin, tell me about your Taco Bell experience.
I don't know if this was on episode or not. I can't remember, but Blake was just saying how he can't go back to Taco Bell. And then I left our recording and I immediately went to Taco Bell. And it was the right choice. You know, it was the right choice for me in that moment. And, you know, it's not always the right choice. And Taco Bell is like weirdly expensive. But I mean,
you can't get out of there with $25 or less.
Not when you're buying for two, you know. It's
50 or less
stuff,
is your new thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I spent $40 at Taco Bell. Jesus fucking Christ! I thought this was cheap. But yeah, other than that, things are on the mend. Last week was terrible. I worked, I think I worked 40 hours in the first 3 days of the week, and then just kept on working after that. I went to New York. I saw nothing of it other than the hotel room and the venue. And, someone asked me what I wanted for lunch and I almost threw up. And the level of stress I experienced was peak. It was, as I'm getting older, I didn't even know I've unlocked new levels of stress that I can feel.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting better, man. So, otherwise, I don't know. I think we're buying this house, so that's going to happen. So this whole background's going to change. I don't know what it's going to be, but
can't wait.
We'll see.
We're going to have to re-simulate it, rebuild it exactly. So the listeners don't freak out.
Yeah, we got to keep the continuity, Colin. Sorry.
I don't know if I'll be allowed to is really the thing, I might be being banished to the garage, so I'm going to be the one with bad Wi-Fi. So we'll figure it out, though. It's all going to be okay. It's going to be great. It'll be my Wi-Fi now,
Yeah. Well, you can be like, fuck it. I'll just drill a hole through this wall and run a cable out here.
Run that Ethernet.
Can't fucking stop me. Yeah.
I'll pipe it through the sewer line. That seems safe.
Oh my God.
So that's me. I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Blake, how are you doing?
Well, it's Rosetta weekend, so I bought 2 cases at Hidden Fortress and hit what is it called? A Fable in the first 4 packs, and I was like, this is dope. And this set has been so sick, but then I was like, should I stop after 1 case or should I do another? The second case was bad. And then I was like, where are all these Marvel sigils at? I only opened 1 in 2 cases. What are we doing here? This isn't like Marvel Chi where I have 4 of them already. Where are they at? And I need 8 times 3 is 24. Like, how am I ever going to get enough for play sets of those? But pretty fun. After I opened up in Hidden Fortress in Simi Valley, the only place where I could eat at Thursday night was Taco Bell. So I had Taco Bell on Thursday as well. So I have already failed less than 14 days after my pledge of never eating it.
Nice.
What'd you get? Same thing?
What did I not get? It was more I got a burrito and I was like, this is gonna get cold if I go home, and if I try to eat it on the way home, I will die because it is like 85 miles per hour coming from Simi Valley to LA. Like, they do not slow down. So I sat in that parking lot and ate, and it was sad. But it was a grilled steak burrito, which has a different kind of sauce that I'm not used to. I haven't tried that in a while. And a Crunchwrap Supreme,
a classic,
and a Sprite or Starry soda.
Starry, yeah, because they lost the right to call it Sierra Mist, which is hilarious.
Oh, is that the story behind that?
It's a really cool story, actually.
I think the copyright slipped and they didn't renew it. And
there's somebody named Sierra Mist, and are they
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I
It's
don't
like a
want to say the
TikTok
weird
girl,
thing.
right?
It's a TikTok girl and
Tiki-taki.
This
girl
is some deep
lawsuit.
Taco Bell lore.
She's an influencer who
It's
claimed to have
Pepsi
the
lore
rights.
now.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Shout out to Pepsi. They make Gatorade.
The main difference between Sierra Mist and no, this is AI. I don't know if this is real. Don't look at that.
Google
Reach.
Gemini, not reliable.
Google
Anyways,
Gemini is
100
Crunchwrap-
not
episodes, and now
reliable.
we're just fucking so corporate.
Crunchwrap Supreme, goated. Everyone knows it. Next.
Blake, I do have a comment about your Marvel sigils and stuff. I feel like there is too many different types of goodies, which I love that there are goodies to open. But I'm like, there's too many of them. There's no consistency. So like the volume of product you would have to open is vast, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but maybe it's good.
I think it depends on if you're a store owner and you want people to buy your stuff, or they're going to go, screw that. I'm just going to buy singles. And then you go, but I don't sell singles. And then you'll walk away from the store and go spend $300 somewhere else. And I don't know how you avoid that, because like my local store that did do that was in CB Valley. That's not very local, but like they would open up crack cases. And I was talking to somebody and they're like, we don't crack cases for singles anymore. And that's something where you're like, okay, I don't think Collector Legion's doing that. And that may just be we don't have I'm not trying to doom and gloom at all. I'm having a blast this weekend. I'd rather bloom and not groom. That's not going to work. What's a good one? Bloom and lava flume my way of by burning passion for fab.
Bloom
but
and bloom.
yeah,
Plume.
that's probably a majestic one day. But
It's a common headpiece from Tales of Aria.
it's something
It's like
where
a bloomin' onion.
I wish there was a single store and I would just go there and be like, here's what I need. But nobody's opening cases nearby to just sell to people.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just not beneficial unless you can sell at such a quantity, you know? Like it's, especially when there's this many things, like you got to open up so much shit. Like I can't imagine how much you have to open. And then you're stuck with a bunch of stuff that you can't do anything with.
Yeah, I think the variance has like increased a little bit on like a good case to a bad case. Whereas like, you know, we've come a long way since WTR and ARC and stuff, like unlimited. But those were like pretty reliably one legendary, one foil majestic per box. That's all you got, you know? And like it wasn't fully scripted like that, but it was close. And now you have like cases that are like amazing, and then you'll have 3 that are terrible.
Yeah.
And so like you're seeing like the risk, people are not buying one case anymore. And then you have, you know, the 5 people like Hemel and MinMax who are opening 500 cases to supply the singles.
Yeah.
Which maybe isn't the best model, but I'm glad we have people like that in the community to get the cards to people. But I wish that the case variation was a little flatter. I wish the best cases were a little worse and the worst cases were a little better.
Yeah. The shit, what was I gonna say? Fuck ass.
Is that what you were gonna say?
No. Oh, that's what it was. I went to check, like, all right, what's the call to the grave? What's that extended art going at? $100. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and there was like one listing. I was like, this is crazy. This is the same price as fucking EA bark skin right now.
It'll
And I'm
probably
like,
follow the levels of enlightenment path if I had to guess.
yeah, it'll get there. It just is, you know, it was like that
What are
was
we
Sunday.
What are we
you know?
even calling to the grave? I don't understand. Nobody's
Count your
broken the
listings.
card yet, right?
Our lives. That's what we're
Calling to the grave, your blue, count your blessings.
Zane, to get us through this intro here, I know we're excited. Tell me about your life.
Well, I'm bad at fantasy football and nothing else matters because that defines you as a person.
Nice.
Indeed. Next.
America.
Yeah. I was saying that the other day. You don't have Josh Allen on your team scoring 35 on the Monday night game?
I don't. I do have Jamar Chase. I was glad to see him finally do something. But yeah, we implemented what's it called? Median scoring this year, where like you can win or lose twice per week. So you basically like you play your opponent, and then if you get in the top half, you get another win, or if you get in the bottom half, you get another loss. And I started the year a nice 0-4 after 2 weeks.
That's not a good thing
I
for
think-
people that are bad at fantasy.
I think we're back. I think we're looking good this week. I think we're going to win both. So we're going to be
think
2 and
we're
4.
There's too much weird math in fantasy sports for me.
So it actually is a really fun system to like reduce some variance, because like you can be the second highest scorer in your league and lose, and that's your only way to score points that week. It's just 1 win, 1 loss, and this basically just evens it out a little bit. Where if you're the second highest scorer, you lose your head to head, but then you win the median scoring, so you go 1-1. It's cool. I like it.
Who are you playing against?
So
Like players wise, I am playing against Josh Allen actually, but
No,
I have-
like, is it your work group? Is it people from
it's
15 years
primarily
ago?
it's primarily college. Yeah,
Nice.
so it's getting further and further away, but it's a fun.
Where'd
group
you
of
go to
people.
college, Zane?
To a little school in San Diego called Point Loma.
PO?
That's right. Right on the beach. Yep.
right on the
Nice.
point of Loma.
The
That's it.
Point Lomers? No, the Point
sea- the
Loma
sea lions.
Pointers.
Ooh,
Wait, you had to
Sea lions.
drive to
Lighthouse.
school on a jet ski? What the heck?
Yes, that's right. You could have. My dorm is like right. The freshman dorm is like right on the beach. Like genuinely, it's right there.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what's going on with my life. Taylor, how about you?
Okay.
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 Do you guys
So
have a
glad
Taco
I
Bell?
asked.
Yes, we do, Blake.
When's the last time you went?
Last time I went, I didn't get anything, and it was
So
college.
you didn't go.
You chaperoned
No,
someone to Taco Bell?
Look, I was with my friend, who I will not name, and
Chapel
they were
Road.
like, let's go get free Taco Bell. And I was like, well, I don't eat fast food, but it's also like, what else do you do at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday in college? Definitely not sleep or homework. So I was like, I'll go. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to show them my boobs and we'll get this for free. And I'm like, what? And then they showed their boobs to the window attendant and they were like, carry on. Thank you. And we got free Taco Bell. So that was the last time I went to Taco Bell.
Wow.
So you chaperoned to Taco Bell, and
I was riding shotgun.
Jeez, that's a crazy story.
Yeah,
Good for
that's
you.
crazy. And it was like not the first time that they had done that. So that's the cool
Obviously,
part.
they knew it was going to work.
We're like, this is gonna work, no problem. And
I bet that doesn't
great
work
life-
at my TCG shop.
great life hack for poor college students. Okay, so I have dove back into the Alien franchise of films, and I was like, all right, we're gonna start with one and see what happens here. And I watched one, Alien, and I was like, wow, this is a great film. I remember this from high school being very good, and now I'm more mature. I know things. This is still super good, super great. Liked everything about it. Loved the quietness of it, the bleakness of it. The characters
Tagline?
were good. I thought it was awesome. Then I watched Alien 2, way different vibe. Aliens, James Cameron film. And I was like, okay, this is way different, but is still pretty fun. I'm not really into all these fucking Bill Paxton one-liners this whole movie. This is pretty cringe and not great. But still was pretty fun. That little girl, Newt, really saves that film. I'll tell you what. And then I started to watch Alien 3 and was like, okay, nope. I'm going to just skip ahead to the last 10 minutes to see what happens. Okay, perfect. Great. Yeah, that movie was bad. And then I was like, all right, the next one's Alien Resurrection. And then I just read what that was about, and I was like, this sounds dumb as fuck. No way am
No,
I going to watch
dude.
this. Would they just resurrect her and alien DNA? I'm just like, okay, no thank you.
Winona Ryder's in it, and she's a cyborg or some shit.
Oh, that would be cool. Maybe I should watch that. Then I was like, okay, that was bad. What if I just skipped to Requiem, the new one? And I was like, oh, no, wait. There was this one, Covenant, that I missed, which in a weird way. So Ridley Scott does Prometheus, right? Which is a prequel,
Prometheus.
which I have seen and hated. And then I was like, what audacity as a person creating things in this franchise to go, I'm going to make a prequel to my prequel. And then I was like, well, this is maybe better. And then I watched the first 40 minutes of that and was like, okay, spoilers. People get sick by spores, which is cool, but
this is Covenant. Are
Yeah.
we just
yeah,
okay?
yeah, Covenant spores from fungi, and I'm like, well, okay, this is just not science, because if there are freaking fungi that release spores, they would just be everywhere, and then everybody would be infected. So already science.
Oh,
not
this is
working.
in space though.
Yeah, you forgot the
yeah.
space. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
it's different, I
Fungus.
think. I don't know.
And then just like the amount of training you would probably need in the future as a person to go into space on a decades-long journey to a new planet to terraform, you would just not fucking walk, no mask, onto a strange planet. And then when somebody gets sick, you would be trained in this emergency scenario, not be like, I can't believe he's fucking sick. Somebody help me. I'm helpless. I'm like, you are an astronaut, which we know now are incredible, smart people that could problem solve and are highly trained. Who are you,
Why'd those two get stuck up there then?
dude?
Wait, I have a question for you.
I maybe have an answer.
If you had maybe pink eye, would you still do this podcast? Or would you be like, do this without me, go on without me, even though I've trained for 2 weeks to do this Rosetta weekend podcast?
Yes, you've had the requisite training. You know how to handle this emergency scenario.
But you should
So
probably
can
be asleep. You should probably sleep. So
Nah, you don't need to sleep. But just dim your lights, maybe, is probably fine. Anyway, my summation here of the Alien franchise so far. Still got to watch the new one. Number 1's good. Number 2's okay. Skip the rest.
It sounds like you didn't watch most of it.
did you watch Romulus at all?
That's what I mean.
That's the new
Romulus,
one.
I haven't watched yet. So I can't say on that. But everything else, skip it.
I don't
Okay.
know. I think Resurrection may be okay despite it being mostly bad, but kind of good in it. But like,
Mostly bad.
but like not in like a bad way, but like in a fun way. I don't know. I watched it on
Charming
TV when I
way.
was a kid.
Charmingly bad.
Yeah.
Name another thing that's charmingly bad for reference for me.
Paycheck.
What? Okay, that was a test. I wanted to see who had one of those, just ready to fucking rip it. And there it is, Zane. Paycheck. Okay, great.
It's a good movie. It's stupid, but it's fun.
Excellent. All right, I'll go watch Paycheck next. Paycheck franchise. Let's go.
One of one.
The Paycheck franchise. Yeah, we'll watch the prequel first. I want to make sure we do this in chronological
The
order.
prequel check pay.
The direct deposit.
Yeah, it's called Work Week. Yeah. All right, that was not as good. Anyway, let's move on to shout outs. I feel like that happens a lot on this podcast. I'm not as clever as everybody else. And then I'm like, I have a joke. And then it's like, all right. Good job.
No, you're I was just tired of laughing and it would hurt my body to keep laughing the fourth time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Comedy's better.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway. Yeah. Blake, I believe you have some shout outs here.
Oh, shout outs. Let me click the thing so I can remember. What's very cool is normally during the fall, I get not obsessed, but it is football for the Texas Longhorns. And I am from Texas. I went to school at the University of Texas. And I went to school when Colt McCoy was there. And for anybody that cares about football, that's the last time the Longhorns were number 1 in the country. So it's taken this long, ever since
Feels
I was
like
a
longer.
freshman. I was 19 years old. I'm about to be 35 in 3 weeks or something. And we're back, baby. And the person who's doing that is Arch Manning, who's Peyton Manning's nephew, who's Eli Manning's nephew, who's Arch
Who else is
Manning or
nephew?
Archie Manning's grandson. And
His dad is not of note.
his dad
Well,
was a
Wilfred.
freak athlete,
Manning.
but had some like problems or something. But Arch Manning is taking us back to number 1, so that's good. And then my other shout out was thanks, Mike from Hidden Fortress, for keeping me cases for Rosetta. I had a lot of good stuff. And shout outs to Turn Zero to trade me stuff because Evan wouldn't trade me lightning cards. And people at Turn Zero did. And I'm 1 card away from having my Aurora deck ready to go.
You were born for this.
You were born. For
They said I couldn't be a Wayfarer, but
Speaking of Rosetta Heroes, shout out to my boy on Twitter, Lucas #2, formerly Lucas #1. We have the same taste in a lot of things, flesh and blood, including our hero preferences. And he's also hilarious on there. So just shout out to that dude. Just good tweets only. Doesn't get wrapped up in judges and not judges or pummels or plow unders or whatever. You know, he's just out there betting bigly or killing bet biglies or whatever, you know. He's doing great.
You should try and peer pressure him to get his arachne tattoo on his right hand. So when you guys are in person, you guys can hold hands and the
Make
arachnes
them
can
kiss.
That'd be sick.
Dude, I think if that actually happened, there might be like some sort of temporal disturbance, and then like an alternate reality rift in time will like actually open up and maybe destroy our whole universe.
Yeah, it was actually the last thing to fall in place before the rapture.
Yeah, totally.
Arachne has a new
Whoops.
specialization called Rapture.
Don't
just
even,
can't
dude.
block at
That'd be
all.
Great. Great.
All right. Well, I'm going to shout out you, the listeners,
Hey,
because,
thanks.
you know, I've been seeing the thumbs up on the YouTubes and the comments coming in, even if they say algorithm, something. Everything helps. We have proven this. So keep on shouting out the Attack Action Podcast wherever you are. Keep on, you know, sharing it with friends. And, you know, maybe if you're feeling generous or you're just a little bit tipsy and you're just like, hey, I'll just sign up on Patreon and give them $4 right now and forget that it's on there and just give us, you know, just a little bit of that money. It's totally worth it. You know, you can join our Patreon. You can be our friends in the Discord. You can forget that you have auto, you know, renew set on there or whatever. And it'll be great for everybody. You know, it's most of the money doesn't go to us. It mostly goes to Greg for editing our episodes. Shout out to Greg. He's busy this week, so this week it's me. So hopefully you don't fuck this up so I don't have to edit much. But yeah, so just wanted to say thanks to everyone. We appreciate you. Even if you do none of that and you just listen and enjoy it, we still appreciate you.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going to ask you for another favor really quick, as we are now recording our 99th episode of the Attack Action Podcast. We are preparing for the 100th, the very 100th episode.
The
as
only
they say.
100th.
The only 100th. And we need you. We need
That's-
you to pick
that's a lot
up
of
your
pressure.
phone and do the little voice memo, because we don't have a phone number because it costs too much money to do. And if, like I said, no, you're not joining the Patreon, so we don't have the money for the phone number. Unless I just gave out my own one and pretended it was like just like a 800 number. Maybe I could do that. Never mind. Do a little voice memo. Ask us a question. Tell us a story. Do something fun. I don't care. Taylor, was there more of a prompt that I forgot? No. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And then send it to us at the Attack Action Podcast at gmail.com. Not Hotmail, Gmail. The original email, as everyone knows.
Okay.
And we'll play it on the episode, and it'll be a good time. So join us in the celebration of us and you, our community together.
We can't do it without you. I mean, it's super true. I remember when we first started the podcast, and I was like, imagine if 50 people were in a room and listened to us talk for 2 hours straight. You would do that every week, no problem. You're like, fucking 50 people showed up for this. And now we have more than that. And that's awesome. So
52
dozens more.
2 things. One about emails at Hotmail at work. Somebody's last name ended with an S and then the word excavation after it at Hotmail. And I was like, is this spam? This email?
Or is this a sexcavation?
Sex vacation at
sexcation? And I was like, I had to ask somebody in the office, like, is this a real person? And they were like, oh no, it's excavation, but I can see. I was like, okay, cool. Whew. If it was like at Gmail, it would have been way different. But since it was at Hotmail, that's what got me. And then the second thing is what we're truly looking for out of our voice memos is we want you to do your best impression of your favorite hero and do a ad for the podcast so we can have that in perpetuity to use. That can be your $4 gift to us for our 100th
That was much
episode.
better than what I said.
No, what you said is great because that's on theme and what always happens. And then you're me and I'm you in this scenario where you say something pithier and more concise and more fun because you've had longer to think like I did. And then so welcome to the hot seat with your hot pants.
And for all of Taylor's haters that said he would never get to 100, you got 2 weeks to stop it
To
happening
stop
somehow.
I feel like you guys
And
put a
we
lot
already
of
told you
pressure
how.
on-
We get Lucas to get a tattoo, and then the tattoos kiss, and the world ends. So we got it. There's the recipe.
There's now, I feel like, a lot of pressure on this. It's like the only time we do 100, it's 100. You know, are we going to say also? Yeah, haters now. Is this season 1 of the Attack Action podcast is ended, and now we're moving
now
into
we're in
season 2?
I think this is already like season 5 if you're asking me. 'Cause
It depends if we're like a Netflix show or a manga. Because if we're
yeah,
a
this
manga,
is a
we're-
live action remake right now.
that was season 1, and season 2 it's gonna be crazy.
I'm
When's the
definitely
first time-
leveling up.
When's the first time you guys made Hotmails? Like what year
I
was
never
Never.
had one.
I never had a Hotmail.
Because
Yahoo.
I
Had
had
the AOL.
I have a Hotmail, and that was one of my go-to jokes in high school when people would ask me what my email was, and I'd be like, the thing I'm not going to say at hotmails.com. And I should have known I was gay back then, but I did not. That's not a joke straight people make, probably.
There was there was a note on the ground at school today, a post-it note that somebody had clearly stuck to somebody else's back that just said, I like men. And it just was
Damn.
laying there in a sad way. On the
Or it
ground
was like
after
a
school
to-do
discarded.
list. Maybe that was just
Yeah.
like, okay, what do I do today? Oh, I like men. Okay. Thank God I wrote this down and remembered.
So many things have happened. All right, 100th episode. Thank you. Let's move into kind of what we're going to talk about today. We are talking Rosetta weekend. We're talking official release, opening packs. We're talking Sydney. We're talking Tejas. We're talking
Count your blessings.
count your blessings. 1,
Marvel
to
sigils.
yeah, we're talking about it all here. So buckle up. I feel like there's nothing else to say other than that.
Yeah.
Somebody talk to me. Zane, talk to me. Talk to me, Zane.
Okay, Taylor, I'll talk to you. So the biggest CC event we saw this weekend was the Battle Hardened Sydney, which you may have watched and may have seen over the weekend. They did not stream the limited calling, and they streamed the Battle Hardened that was CC, which was a bit of a strange choice, maybe, but perhaps the correct decision to show people the new CC heroes instead of just the limited format for a second weekend in a row. Or I guess there's been a break since Orlando, but regardless, they chose this, and it was fine. Like, it was a well-run stream from what I could see. I didn't watch top 8, but I'm looking at the bracket here. We see a lot of diversity. We got 2 Aurora, we got a Florian, we got 2 Kano, a Katsu, whose death has been greatly exaggerated, an Enigma, and a KO, with the finals being a Kano mirror. Yeah, the tomes, huh? Who needs them?
Now your tomes block for 3 and do 3 arcane damage.
Yeah, this is a surprising top 8 to some degree, right? I don't think many people had Kano as like a top performer on their bingo cards. I don't think Katsu. I think we expected a lot more Enigma, KO, kind of just still be dominant.
I feel like we should give ourselves some credit of anybody that thought Kano was going to be bad after a wizard set is just kind of like, it's just not going to be the same deck. And like, I do think this is the first time where it's like a deck that you've been used to playing for years gets completely transformed into a new thing. And it's just time to go to work and learn how it goes. And I'm not going to do that because I want to see the deck list, and then I'll use that knowledge to not be completely like, I've already tried to make Icelander work by myself for six months and it go nowhere until Bullander shows up, and you're like, okay, great. But I don't think anybody who thought Kano was going to be bad, because it's like, it's just going to be different.
Yeah, it loses one of its tools in the toolbox, which is the stacking kit. We'll see if somebody can figure out a way to make stacking work again. It's unlikely because the Open the Floodgates are inherently interactive. God forbid the game is interactive. That's the Kano player's least favorite part of Fab, is interacting. That's a joke, making fun of Kano players.
Fuck those guys. Stupid piece of
Wizards are weaklings.
No, but I think making like their combo turns more interactive is a net positive. And we clearly can see that it didn't have a huge impact on his strength. He won the tournament and had both spots in the top 2. So, but yeah, I mean, happy to see a diverse top 8. A little sad to see no like assassin or not a lot of grindy value decks up there. I guess one Florian makes it, which gets close, and I think that's the Count Your Blessings deck, which maybe is a whole nother discussion. I much prefer Yuki's style of kind of value Florian, kind of the beefy Runeblade style. But yeah, what did you guys think of Rosetta release weekend? Any takeaways from the 2 major tournaments we saw?
I was really excited to see. Well, one, I turned on the Sydney tournament, and the first thing they do is play a not Rosetta hero game, and I was just like, come on, guys. like give us what we all want and just show us the new stuff, because we're excited to see it in action. But that being said, we got a lot of other stuff. It was fun to see. I think personally I really like seeing Aurora being played. One, because I think weirdly, I think I'm excited because she looks like Briar, and I don't like Briar, but it also looked like a Briar who felt like she matched her theme and her talent, and it was like she's all lightning, she's doing all this stuff. It's a lot of like 0 for 4s and 0 for 3s, but they're a lot of like instant reaction or instant speed things that are going on and different steps to like activate different things. And I thought that was really fun, and it was cool to kind of see all that being played, and cool to see what people kind of came up with like so quickly. shout out to everyone who brought a new deck to this tournament. That's takes a certain kind of weight in a certain part of the body to do that. But it was fun to see. I didn't watch all of it because I didn't have time, but I thought that was cool. I like seeing the different Florians. Declan's in the top 8. I thought I wasn't totally paying attention, but then when I started realizing he was playing 9 counter blessings and was just gonna like gain a shitload of health, and because he just kept sitting there taking damage and not doing it, I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then just like, oh, he just gained like 12 health or something. Just like, shit, this is crazy. The other dude was just like frantically trying to do damage the whole game, which I don't know why he was so frantic in that in his playing, but it was it's an untimed round. Like you could take a breath, dude. It's okay. We'll still watch. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I'm sad I didn't see the kind of Kanos win out, but I heard some cool stuff, so I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. So yeah, I think it was really cool. I also like I like the commentary. Shout out to Mr. Nick Butcher and Matt. Oh, what was his name? Matt something Wood. Something I don't know his last name, but I thought they were really good. I thought it was like engaging conversation about what was happening and not just saying exactly what was happening on screen, which sometimes I find distracting. But it was fun, and their suit jackets fit.
I posted on Twitter, I thought Nick Butcher kind of had like a vampire vibe going on in that like suit.
Yeah,
with his hair
the white
back.
on white. He
Yeah.
definitely had like a grandpa, like cool grandpa vibe coming in. But I was down for it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
That was Saturday night for us, so I don't know if I should say this, but like I got done watching a game and then I went home and then I was like, oh, this is the top 8. This is the perfect time to watch. So I did watch the top 8 and then I went right into top 4, but I missed the first half of it. But because it wasn't relevant, I was watching something else. And then the top 2 was crazy too, but it was interesting of Kano is not dead. It is. I know we just said this in a different way, but the stack thing is how you beat Enigma, and it was very cool to see everyone was aware of. We have pitched our Will of Arcana, and this will be the beginning of the stack. When we get to the Will of Arcana, and it was, are we there yet? 1 hand up. Are we there yet? 2 hands up. And then it was like, actually, I don't know why we went 8 cards early, because now here we are. And it was very cool to see a wizard fable. What does it do for you? It's going to give you damage, but sometimes it could mess up your hero power or not really be cool when you need it. And then in the Enigma top 4 match, Steven, I was so impressed. He has a potion of go look at this shit again. What is it called? Deja vu.
Deja vu.
And it's like he's got a potion of go look at this shit again. And he pitches the Will of Arcana. It's in his pitch zone. He can put it on top of his deck with this, pop my Ragamuffin to get Will of Arcana in my hand a second time, pitch the Will of Arcana again. Now it's amp 2 on my Wildfire in a response to my opponent who is cracking their shoes to try and ward off the Wildfire. And I think the Enigma was around 20-something health at this point. And it was very cool that in response, I'm just going to go for it. Do a crazy, like, do you think the Wizard Fable is bad after you watch this shit? No, because that Wizard Fable was kind of the line that he needed to take to shut the door on Enigma of like, now you only have like 2 health. You have no ward left. And like, I'm going to get you as soon as I get a 5 damage spell. 5 damage spells in the next turn. It's conceded basically. Here we go. And like, that was a very cool, like, I know Enigma, is it an easy matchup for Kano, or is it both 9-1 and each side thinks they're whatever favored? But then it was also cool to watch the finals. And it was not something where it was, we're just going to energy potions and then we each have our guns loaded. But it was very funny because Steven, hot streak alert, draws 2 energy potions in his opening hand. And like does something, I don't remember every little thing, but he's putting one of the energy potions down. But then in response, Fahad is like, I'm gonna like attack you or spell you, and he's not ABing it because it's the second energy potions he's putting into his arsenal to play later. And he takes like 11 damage in opening turn down to 19, but he cares about the energy potion so much. And like that's an interesting like, what are we doing here? Where like I don't know if every Kano player is like, yes, I would rather have a second energy potion than 11 life, but it felt like it was the wrong decision of like he's blowing it. Why would you do this in the finals? But it was really cool to see these are heroes that I'm used to working a very specific way with their old time stuff. And is the new version of these heroes better? Thank God they don't have all the options. And like maybe it's almost thank God they have the new options, because like if they had all the old options, some people would probably still play it the old way and it would be like not as good. Like you need to adapt because this is maybe an even faster way at some of this stuff. Maybe I also saw the 2 matches where it was like Enigma's a little weird because we're waning moon and it looks pretty cool. And then the mirror match is crazy. And it did matter that he had the Alluvian up once. And like that was crazy. So like I highly recommend watching this person. I'm going to root for Steven Young anytime I see his name from now on, because I thought this was like a great moment for him.
Cool.
Of like, I don't know if he's been knocking on the doorstep in any of these Sydney tournaments that have been around, but now I'm a fan of Steven Young.
Love that. I think that's one of the cool byproducts, right, of streams is you watch them, you get to be a new fan of somebody. You know? I think that's totally awesome. Hell yeah, Steven. Great job. Great summation. I just loved like that we so soon got to see Rosetta heroes and that they're doing something. Like at Sydney, we have new Rosetta heroes top 8ing. In Dallas, we have Rosetta heroes top 8ing, and just kind of like Colin said, your willingness to just go out there and try something new and then top 8 with it is like pretty tight, you know? And that's it's great for the set too, that they're viable so soon. But that being said, I also kind of had like a question, because I feel like this has happened before, that like heroes will get a heavy ban and then people will be like this happened to Chain, right? Is like Seeds, Chain's over, deck's dead, etc. Can't play it. But then Chain, like as he does, resurrected himself from the banish zone and then came back and then LL'd. Is that same thing going to happen to Zen? Have people like set it aside because they're like, fuck that, too many bans, the deck probably isn't good, but is it still good? Question mark? Thoughts? Opinions?
I think you've switched back to like where a month ago it was like literally why would you play Katsu when you could play Zen? And I think the bans have just done that, where it's like literally why would you play Zen when you could play Katsu? Which like we see Katsu top 8ing. Like the ninjas are tough because they're playing with the same card pool so much that like one of them is going to be better, right? Like Zen's and Katsu's hero text are dangerously similar, right? Like what they're doing is effectively tutoring for a combo card by paying a card out of hand. Katsu generally does it with reds, you know, sometimes blues. Zen has to do it with the special blue, whatever. But I think we're at the point where Katsu is clearly the better ninja of the two. So I don't think that we'll see Zen like make some big resurgence unless something changes in the ninja landscape or Katsu landscape.
Interesting.
And And I think
We're gonna
what
clip
you're
that for later.
I think what you're saying too is like the creativity of the average Flesh and Blood player is not 100, but it's also not 0. But some people don't want to be creative. Some people want to play the best deck as quickly as possible. I even see it 2 weeks in, everything's solved. You
Yeah.
can't play that card in Aurora. It's not good. It's like, okay, you did 100 matches, you did 200 matches, did you do 300 matches? Like, I don't think the lists are solved yet because the Rosetta's been out 3 days, and like, well, I've been working with the top testers in all of America,
Do you
and
think?
like,
Just a little question here on that. Do you think that is either a human condition or like a societal condition? Right? The like, oh, this is definitively correct now. Deterministically, this is how it goes. Or yeah, where is that? Or maybe that's too much of a binary for that type of question.
no, I think this is great because like you could ask your parents for advice if they're alive. I could not ask my dad.
Are,
But,
are we the audience's parents?
no, like you can ask your parents for advice, but you're only going to take the advice for things that you're like questioning. For stuff that you're super strong about, you're going to be like, that's dumb. Like, or like, I need a 60-something-year-old person to tell me how to have fun in LA on a Friday night. Like, yeah, right. Like, I'm not going to go to the library, Mom. I don't need to ask you anything. But then when you become 50, you're probably like, damn, the library had some really cool parties in my 30s. Maybe there was something right to that. And I wish I could ask my mom for advice now. And it's really hard to be a mom. So you're like the done Briar deck is going to happen maybe 7 more times in Flesh and Blood's history. Are you going to be one of the 7 people that finds the meta killing deck, or are you going to be one of the 37,000 people that just perfect the other deck list that already exists? And it's 1 out of every 37,000 is going to make a deck that's good.
Who in that analogy
Is the mom?
Yeah.
Charles Dunn is your dad because he does have all of the like his deck did work that well. Everyone was surprised by that well. I know some people could be like, oh, that was part of our testing tab a month ago, but nobody really put any effort into it. But he dadded that Nationals very hard and sent that hero home, or that deck would have been around for another couple months for people to dad on.
Charles Daddy Dunn. You heard it here first from Blake.
It's funny when you said the Briar deck, I thought you meant the Tarek 0-cost Briar. So Briar's kind of done that twice.
Briar has
3
daddy.
times.
What's the third?
Ario's Briar.
Mr.
Hardcore.
Folks with Belittle.
Ooh.
Less so. That was more of a mirror breaker. Like, I
Your
hear
uncle.
Yeah, that's your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving who like said something racist and then fell asleep on the couch.
Oh my god.
This analogy is getting good.
It's getting better and better, actually.
Totally.
I agree
want
with saying that. I think Belittle's too close to the other one.
Who's the weird like lesbian aunt who just raises huskies? That's what I want to know.
I think
But
there's,
that
like,
is your
4 of them.
favorite, and if you were to run away from your family, that's the aunt you would go stay with.
You would come out to her.
or just be like, I'm
Why is
running
this
away.
still about me? Okay.
Nobody understands me except for you.
My aunt literally had huskies. You psychopath! Get out of my mail.
I was gonna say something about
They were
an old
German
him deck,
shepherds.
but I don't know.
I was in your hotmails.com email.
Back
I
to
think,
the
I think who's gonna
original
make the
question.
Zen? Who's gonna make the Zen deck? That brings him
That's what
back to
you're saying. Okay.
he's very defensive now, and you use to territorial domain
Okay.
and wax on and wax off.
Somebody
and
is on this and has been playing defensive ninja for a while and deserves a shout. It's Naib. He played Fatigue Fi in Barcelona, And then he played Territorial Domains and Tiger Eye Reflexes in Zen, even like in the Battle Hardened San Diego. So if there's like a defensive Zen deck, I think like he's very likely to be on the cutting edge of that.
Let's go. Shout out
Will
to
Turtle
Naeem.
Katsu come back to Snap again?
Well, you don't need the Turtle Katsu anymore because you can play Ira, baby.
Yeah, this
Is this a snapping turtle?
good thing we're
Colin.
gonna have. Good thing we're gonna have 100 episodes before Ira comes back because I'm quitting Fab in November 2nd.
Stay tuned for
You're
season
playing
2.
Ira November 2nd.
Jesus.
I was going to say to Taylor's question of whether it's a human condition or a societal thing. I think it's both. I think there's like, a lot of pressure, and a lot of people come in with very definitive like ideas of like this is correct, and you're just like literally I don't know you from like a raving lunatic walking down the street of downtown LA, Mr. on Discord person, whoever you are.
Mr. Meyer.
Why would I ever listen? Why would I just take your word for this? They're like, oh, well, we've tested this. Like, who are we? I love when everyone's like, oh yeah,
Meyer,
we knew
Mr.
about this Charles Dunn deck. We practiced that, blah, blah. We didn't think it was good. And you're just like, okay, well, so you're just wrong
Trash at
and dumb. It's just like I don't know why you're flexing that you thought you already knew it and decided it was bad. So you're just, reiterating that you made the wrong choice.
Shooting themselves in the second foot instead of getting surgery on the first.
They're both shooting each other in the feet because it's more fun that way. They're a team. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because I think, there's not a lot of true like brewers of like really good decks. I think there's a lot of like people who can refine other people's decks and kind of, take them to another place. But it takes too much time and energy to make up a whole new deck, test it out a bunch of times and really like see it through the paces. And I think that is a skill that not enough people have in the community as a whole. So a lot of us just rely on other people to come up with decks, and so you kind of just got to be like, well, okay, like they say this is bad, but I don't, I think it's always good to like take anything anyone says about this shit with like a huge grain of salt, because what is bad for them might work for you in the way you want to play a deck, and it's gonna be, there's gonna be a personal element to it, and there's no just like flow chart of like, oh, I do this on this, with these cards, I do this, and it is not deterministic. It is not just, there's too many variables in this to say anything like that. So, yeah, I think it's just kind of a consequence of a lot of those things. And then other people, a lot of just people who like to be the loudest voice in the room, even if it's a silent text-based Discord channel.
I think my favorite thing though is
Charles
like
Daddy Dunn.
is like whenever these morsels get dropped, you're like, holy crap, I want another morsel of like this is why the game is fun.
Wait, what's a morsel?
I'm about to show you. So
Ooh.
like how is what's her face? No, that would be a double chunk or whatever. But double chocolate chip cookie. What I'm saying right now is
You're more like a double scoop of like strawberry shortcake.
Why is Rosetta and Aurora different from other aggro decks? And like, oh, she can make a Quicken token, but it doesn't pop on her freaking sword, so it's an embodiment lightning instead. So if you think of it like that, well, what's the best way to start my chain link? And whenever you realize what Exude Confidence is doing off of an embodiment of lightning, and then that gets lightning press, and you're sitting there with 3 D-reacts in hands because you're like a defensive ass earth deck, you're literally getting blown up. And you're like, I'm gonna do whatever I want on this whole chain link because you can't play D-Reacts at all because you don't have an 8 or a 7 damage attack in your hand to block with. And like that was sick whenever I like saw that of like now this aggro deck can do different things, and every time you have your normal screw you aggro decks, Aurora just is like, well, I'm gonna do it at instant speed instead, and now who cares that I can only play one action per turn? I'm gonna just do a whole bunch of instants instead. I like that. I like that stuff. Like that's cool, and now it's a different deck building, and like I think Lightning has an actual
Identity.
what is it called? Ooh, identity. I like that word.
Yeah.
We should trademark that. But Lightning's identity is now that like we can instant speed around defensive options that other decks have, and that makes me excited to play Lightning Heroes instead of Lightning gives it go again or unblockable damage. Like those were both. I have better go again in other options, and unblockable like Mark of Lightning is weird to me.
Okay, I have a class identity question. Class/talent identity.
Whoa.
So
Right.
they changed Lightning, right, in a good way. I think we would all agree. They made Lightning more complicated, more interesting, like you're saying. I think that they made Wizard less interesting with the 2 wizards that they released. So the 2 wizards that we had previously, like in CC, were Kano and Icelander, whose identity was primarily and is instant speed, right? And the interaction or like the identity of Oscillio and Verdance is basically just uninteractable arcane, right? It's not instants. Like Oscillio plays some instants because he's lightning, but not really because he's a wizard. His identity is like, I'm going to have amp so big that you can't block it. And Verdance is the same thing. I'm going to heal an amp so big that you can't block it. And I don't like uninteractable arcane as an identity nearly as much as instant speed frostbite, Stormstriders, Wildfire. And I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this.
Man, that's a great question and a great way to break that down. You like kind of blew my mind for a second, so I'm gonna need to recoup for a moment.
Yeah, I think that was a feeling that I had, but I couldn't put so eloquently as that. I think the new wizards felt less wizardy to me, is the way I would say it, which is just fine. But I think that's a. I mean, I think that's true. I don't think there's really much more discussion than that. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I think, it's interesting to see a class be able to operate on a different kind of axis.
Just say it 12 more times.
Axis. Which I think I'm, I like that wizard could be more than just that, because I think, otherwise it's just a different, just putting a different dress on a dog or pig. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whichever thing is what they say, but it makes me less interested in them personally. Kind of after watching Verdance, it was just kind of like, okay, like I get this. I don't see honestly, I see more of the like, oh, and then I do this and this and this in Aurora than I did, but I didn't see a lot of Isilia, so I didn't see enough of that to know what the play style is there. But at least like comparing to like Verdance felt very more just like, and I do this thing, and you're just like, okay, that's a little less exciting to me. But yeah, definitely feels different, and I will withhold judgment until I see more action.
For
Kano's
me,
number one.
like I think I'm agreeing with you, Zane, of wizards are instant speed on my opponent's turn. That is the class. That is what I'm excited to do. We have Blaze in between. Of Blaze's hero power, also There's a way you can do it instant speed. You can even do it on your turn if you want to do it, or you could do it on your opponent's turn if you want to do it. But like the instant speed is attached to the hero power. And we did not see Ocilio's hero power for a while, or did we get it right away? I don't want to screw this up.
We got the wizards late.
Yeah, they were after the Rune Blades.
The wizard hero powers, every single time it was like, Blake, what are you speculating about? I'm sure we can go back in the video, and it's like, I tie wizards in my head so much to opponent turn stuff that it's always that. And like, I was extremely not excited about, if you have 8 earth currents, you can ping for 1. And like, I'm wondering if that hero, if it was just like Icelander's hero power, but like yellows, and you don't get bonuses from frostbites, like maybe you make an embodiment of earth when you play it at instant speed. Like, then it's hardcore defensive. Start her at 30, and like that's already like, well, you get a little bit more power from the yellow spells, because I do know they did the blue spells because those are the least powerful. But like, is that already more exciting? And like I said, earth cards or something weird. What happened though is that did not happen. And then Ocilio also did not have instant speed on my opponent's turn regularly. There's not even like a majestic that does that, which was what I was expecting. And then we have the introduction of sigils, and that arm piece that I don't think Kano will ever use, unless there's a sigil build of Kano, and I should shut up because that would be cool to see a sigil build of Kano. The daddy duns of that hero should try that out or whatever. But it is frustrating to go, one of my favorite hallmarks, and I'm excited for the new wizards to come out, just does not exist. And it does feel like this is the secret 12th class, but they didn't want to make a bunch of new majestics and commons and rares for them. But this feels like a new, it's halfway between a Rune Blade, which people are saying very liberally, and halfway between a wizard because they have access to Stormstriders. But then, Ocilio may not even use it because Volzar is on his own turn or whatever. So I get it. I also don't have 50 games into either of these heroes, but I went from being so excited for both wizards to now my Aurora deck is 1 card away, and I'm literally after this going to go build Florian from a thing, because it's like, how did I go from I care way more about wizards to now I'm not really interested in either of them now that I've seen the preliminary stuff? Isn't interesting because of the hero power. It's not on my opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm.
I am loyal to the soil right now. And
Nice.
I kind of disagree a bit with everybody, because I can remember a time when everybody was like, what would a action phase your turn wizard look like? You know? And that's kind of what we have in both of these wizards. And I do agree that they, like, it still sticks in my head. Like Majin Bay had that meme of like a person with a stick, like poking Verdance. And it's just like the caption is like, do something wizardy, you know, as it's just like Verdance is just laying there doing nothing, which I totally get. But at the same time, like, I mean, I am having so much fun with Verdance. Like, I love the health pot combo is very reliable and is like a lot easier than Frost Hex, because it's, you just have to play the H pot. You don't have to like pitch a card to play Frost Hex. You know what I mean? And try to time it.
Or pitch to play the Ice Eternal too. Like,
yeah, totally. Like you can just.
You're about to get weakest link, brother.
You can
Those
set
energy
it up.
potions are hitting the discard pile.
That's fair. So I've been really enjoying that. Like the, you know, I don't know. I like it. It feels really on theme for like, I'm composting, and then once I've composted, I have this stuff set up, and I'm, you know, this radiant flower that now kills you. You know, it's like how I feel when I play Verdance, which I think is really cool and is quite a bit different. But the thing that is hard, I think, and that gives her less of an identity, and I can't really talk about Acilio, but I'm going to assume it's the same thing, is that you have this shell of now what is a earth deck, right? Which is like felling, plow, etc., carapace, and
Autumn
that
touch. Yeah.
you have to put those in your earth hero. And because Verdance is an earth hero, you wind up with these like attacks, which is cool to try to coin it as like battle mage, but it is just like, this is what earth heroes do because we've kind of collectively decided that these are kind of the best cards. But that being said, like getting to play Verdance in, well, I guess in limited, what I'll say is perhaps their hero abilities and their lack of wizard quotes, whatever wizardiness is because they're in a draftable set where you have to have attacks, right? And I always feel like it's a misnomer to say this is the all arcane set when we're doing mini attacks. We just all also do arcane damage. Like what I want to see is like spells only, bro. You know, that's what I want. Spells only. So
Preach.
my last little point here is I still think this is good because so many times like you have heroes or classes that are like, we're just doing this thing. This is what and it's just like such a small variation on what those heroes do, you know, that it doesn't feel different enough to why I would want to play that hero, if that makes sense. So that's what I kind of like about Verdance is like it's Earthlander. It's also Wizard. Like I can be creative with how I sequence stuff because I still have access to instant speed arcane stuff. Zane,
The meld cards are amazing. Like that has been a holy crap. This is
dude,
very fun.
I thought those were gonna be stupid, and I'm like, no, these are cool.
It's crazy that there's 3 Earth Wizard cards.
Yes.
Yes. I was just gonna say I'm not trying to hate on Verdance or Acilio. I think they're interesting. I just think that what Wizard fans expected and were hoping for, like I'm not sure they delivered on. And they did almost make a new class, like Blake was saying, like that they do feel distinct, and maybe that's a good thing. And I just need to stop complaining that I miss Icelander. But like I thought Icelander was just like 10 out of 10, perfect. Like you crushed it. It's a wizard. It's ice. It's interesting in so many ways. And the other one, these new ones feel a little bit more on the rails. But Acilio maybe less so. Acilio for sure less so. But so yeah, I don't know.
Off the rails, yeah.
Acilio's wild.
Verdance does feel more like, and hopefully hopefully we're wrong and someone comes up with some other like game plan, but it does kind of feel like this is what you do. Like, you have to activate this ability, you have to do these things, and you want to gain life. It's like your options of doing that are kind of restricted. So,
which isn't all bad. Again, it's like it's just it. I think the Wizard fans, I could see how like
these are for Wizard fans.
I could see how a Kano player hears about the Wizard set and is hyped and then would be let down.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not a Kano like truther. I'm an Icelander fan, and like I had kind of a vested interest. Like, oh, I hope we get something Icelander-y, and then we didn't.
That's
which
why
is fine.
I'm more excited about Kano than these other wizards.
Yeah.
I before Blake with his one more thing, I think it's so early, and who knows? I feel like
no, dude, it's been solved. We told you that. Right?
Fuck. Both of these wizards could probably pivot to be more what we think of wizards. I bet that build
How
is
would
still
they
out
though?
there.
Because they can't play on your opponent's turn.
I don't know, because I don't know. People were saying like you can't do this with Icelander, do all arcane, and then we had all arcane Icelander do it. I know it's different, but I'm just saying it's possible. It's early. Blake, with your finger.
The thought process for me was I did see, okay, but I can do my own thing. I'm going to do Acilio all arcane, or I'm going to do Verdance all arcane when it comes out. And then whenever, just like Colin just said, there's only 3 Earth Wizard cards. There's only 3 Lightning Wizard cards. Like, I can't play all Arcane because they didn't give me a Scalding Rain, a Voltec Bolt, a Zap of those Earth flavored ones, and there's no fusion or anything. So it makes sense if we went away from fusion. I think the 1-1-1-1 thing in my head where I'm like, oh shit, I thought of this as we're talking about this. We have a mystery armory deck. If that was, hey,
Terra.
it's Auxilio or Verdance, but a different hero power, and you can use all these things, or then that would be like ooh, that's cool if it fed both sides, because we needed a draft, but now we have like an Aurora with a different hero power. But we also saw that in Mistveil of there's a young hero that can play a whole different game. And my mind, I'm like, where's my young Verdance hero that is only in the gold pack that has a crazy wizard hero power, and you can play, and then instead of the LL Briar card, there's like a Verdance young Verdance Majestic that goes with her. And I would be like, oh shit. And then we could legitimize Blitz some more, because I thought that's where we're going of here's Blaze, here's New Moon, and now here's Verdance Greener Grass. And it would be like, oh shit.
Verdance
I'm
not a new lawnmower.
I'm not a Verdance main, but I like Greener Grass. Like, I'll play that in Blitz next time. Like, would be cool.
Yeah. Hire Blake to name your stuff. Please. Somebody.
You think it's Terra, Zane?
I mean, I think he's probably the most likely.
Yeah.
If I had to like put money on somebody, it would be Terra.
I'm gonna go mystery hero we know nothing about with no name, and it's like an ice Runeblade, and it'll be like, oh fuck, it's all the Runeblade cards and all the ice cards.
That'd be crazy. I do think, because we were talking again about how Lightning has this identity of instant speed, blah blah blah, and that is because they're bringing ice back. And one of the worst things about, I don't want ice to be back. Really, I'm not ready.
I need my 5 months with Aurora first, and then
that, because Voltaire is an instant, and that was like a huge fucking bummer. You're like, what's this fucking
Depends
instant?
Who you ask.
It's a fucking instant. Whatever. Get out of here, Zane. Get out of here. That's what Lightning is going to be. Their main identity is to be like, can't freeze me too fast, sucker.
I was born for this. Is that what she says?
I mean, that was a big part of Lexi's identity, though, was like being able to skirt destruction against Icelander. That was like one of her key.
But she was also ice, bro. Also ice.
Yeah.
Ice loser.
Nah, bro.
Ancient Arcane loser. I literally, okay. Let's transition here. Do you guys want to talk about draft first, or what are you guys going to play for ProQuest?
Let's do both at the same time.
Okay.
Or
draft kind of is
choice.
Hard as shit.
Your choice.
Drafts kind of sucks. I keep losing. Anytime I play as a lightning hero, somebody plays earth and shuts me down. And then anytime I play as an earth hero, like I get like, oh, I only lose to this 2 combo card. And it's like, so here's combo piece 1. And they're like playing so slow. And I'm like, okay, it won't be the second one. And then it's like, oh yeah, this does buff it, right? And then you're like, why? But it does feel like what's cool is in a pot of 8, I'm not going to explain how draft works, but at least there's going to be one chair where like that person slipped through and has a busted ass deck because somebody didn't like you should be hate drafting way before pack 3, I think, of like, you're going to have enough playables, make your life easier, and get rid of one of those red cards for the other heroes of like, and I would say take the red 7 attacks away from the earth heroes, and then take away like the 0 for 3 Aether Bloom from the pool of like, screw you Verdance, you're not going to be outlasting me this time.
I was thinking about that like there's got to be a way to like Auxilio like Zap Zap be the big thing of your deck where you play 6 arcane basically every turn, and that you could then probably like hate draft brush offs or some life gain to try to get some things out of the pool, because there's just like no real way to stop that. You know
I
what I
lost to
mean?
that last night of like, I had my carapaces ready, and then my Acilio opponent played 6 spells in a row of over like 2.5 turns, and it was like
Yeah.
the go again spell, and I was like, my shoes don't work. I can't gain
Yeah.
5 health from Fertile Ground. Like I could gain 2, but that's awful. Like, okay, there's no way it happens next turn. I have it ready to go. I have literally 10 foot tall and bulletproof ready to swing, and he just never attacks with an attack. And I was
Yeah,
like,
like
I'm so pissed
that's
right
got to
now.
be a thing, right? Like you go flash, zap, zap. You know what I mean? And like that's got to be pretty good. Like in 3 turns before they can freaking decompose. I don't know.
But it sucks because you have to have the red zap, and that's like it only
Yeah,
worked, or
yeah.
red flash for that to work, which is like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, that's kind of hard to do. But one of those you can Volzair for
If
more.
you have sigil of conductivity, you can just play your zaps at Kano speed.
Because I do not understand. Let me complain very quickly here.
Okay. Set your
So-
timer now.
Yeah,
Go.
at the time.
Yeah.
Burn up shock is the wrong thing. Meteor
It's
storm
burn up.
shock.
Shock.
Meteor storm shock. Meteor storm.
Comet storm.
Comet storm.
Comet storm.
Comet meteor storm shock is the only spell that also Volzars or whatever. So like, I wish there was a 0 cost lightning spell, and that is something where I'm like, I am 2.5 days in a Rosetta. I am not complaining this hard, but whenever we have a slot card for Auxilio, and it's like a zap that's lightning, I'm gonna go. That used to be included in the box, and now you're making me pay DLC for this stuff. And I don't like that there's a window where I want to play Auxilio a certain way, but I have to wait 6 months. Doesn't really make me feel that great about how much money I spent on Thursday. And is there a reason they didn't give us Lightning Zap or Lightning Boosted Auxilio? Like what I'm actually saying is the next time you see the word Auxilio specialization, why is it there instead of in the set we just opened? Is it we want to see if he's too busted first? Is it we don't want him to be powerful right out of the box? Because we saw that with Supercell, and now Max can kind of focus, but like I think it's even more so if these heroes feel like a little bit's missing. And I don't want my hero to feel like it's a little bit missing, so I'm going to play Aurora because she feels freaking great. And when Aurora gets a specialization,
Okay, but would you rather them be slightly underpowered or overpowered? Right, like Zen.
I mean, if it was my hero that I like, I want it to be overpowered. And if it's a hero I freaking hate, I hope it's underpowered out of the box. Like it's the whole thing of Dusk Till Dawn with Prism of like, she's back. Do you want her to immediately take over the meta, or you want people to go, no, she's not that great, and then 6 months later take over the meta? I think I had different opinions from each moment because people are complex, and boy is Blake a people. But it is a thing where you're like, I want. Where is Betsy? Oh, Betsy got a new card. Drink under the table. This is so cool. Where's her fucking log that says wager on it?
Cool.
You goddamn, like, just give me the card.
Cowards.
Cowards.
Goddamn cowards.
Yeah, let me say
Totally.
the actual.
I don't get
plural I
that.
can say is coward.
I don't understand that for sure. I feel like I'm talking too much, but I get what you're saying, Blake. And I think there are some there's some things that they're like that are in those expansion slots, or that are just that are in those that are sometimes just like, hey, this is a cool card we designed, right? Yeah, mate, it is. Let's put it in there. And they're like, okay. And then
Bloom and bloom.
they ship it. You know, like that literally happens. Zane, I
Like
feel like
dust-
you wanted to
dust from
say
the
like,
fertile fields.
yes.
Because, like, legitimately, Briar. How many playable cards does Briar have in this set? 55 or whatever. How many playable cards does Olympia have in this set? 1. And you're like,
Crosswords.
Briar is gone. And it's going to be a really cool Living Legend deck if they ban Kraken's Aether Wave. Please ban Kraken's Aether Wave so we can start thinking about this again. But like, I want the Olympia Broadsword. Give it to us. Where's the Olympia Broadsword? Oh, that's going to be another 3 months. That way it's a full year since Heavy Hitters, and you can feel good about your Heavy Hitters purchase a full year later.
That's how I feel about Arachne all the time. Anyway, go ahead, Zane. I feel like you wanted to say something for a long time.
Right now, not much. I like Unsheathed. I think
Wow.
Gust Wave of the Second Wind is stupid.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Stupid good or stupid?
It's stupid.
Oh, okay.
don't know.
Stupid.
I think that there's like a balance between, like, I guess it's, maybe I'm just optimistic about it, but I don't see it as like a loot box thing where they're like, oh, buy all the stuff. Oh, and the next thing, maybe they'll give them what they actually need. I think it is a little bit like, they don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's good. Like, they have an idea, but
yeah. Gustwave is a great example of, well, this is a good idea. I think. Let's put it in there.
Why not? Fuck it, we ball.
Because it's worse than the Gust Wave that's in the opening product 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it doesn't draw a card if you hit.
But when you're like designing, you're like, what are all the iterations of this type of card, right? You're like, this is one of them,
Yeah. And strictly speaking, you can't just keep making cards that are better than the old cards, because then everything just gets away from you.
We know all about that in the classes we play, don't we, Colin? Yep. Numbskull, can't make stuff better.
Splatter Skull, though.
Let's go.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Thank you.
We like
Thank
that.
you. I know I said I wouldn't complain, but I'm trying to have my Betsy bros backs because they want to bet big, but then they have to use High Riser, and they don't even know what High Riser's text says.
Give us log. We want log. You gave us rock. It was bad. We want log. Make it good.
If they print freaking log and it has the same text as rock, but you can make it work with Vigor tokens, that would be actual freaking good design. Like, holy shit. Like, I was pissed for rock because they don't get Vigor tokens, and that would be a way that we could do that.
Drink Them Under the Table is fucking sick. That's
so good.
That made me want to play Betsy, and then I got the Marvel because it was only $70, and Betsy's sick, but Betsy is bad. Sorry, but I think Arachne is a little too powerful, and so I have to pivot now to a hero that's way less powerful. So I can always continually say like, oh no, it's my deck. I'm like actually good at this game, but it's the deck, it's just underpowered.
I like to make it harder for myself. You know?
Totally.
It's too easy. It's too easy. Betsy's fun. We need more just fun decks that we can all have fun playing. A fun game.
Race you to Candlehold.
Shut up, silly.
I'm literally going to be doing that the whole PQ when I fly to your local. I'm going to be in Nebraska going, I was born for this.
Why are you in Nebraska?
I don't know. Shout outs to where I think it's soft, because I've never heard of a good Nebraska player in my life.
Shout out to where I think it's soft. Wherever you're from.
Part of Blake's question was also, what do we think about playing for Proquest? I'm torn. As I said, I'm loyal to the soil, so I'm unsure what I want to play.
That says that or something.
I know, right? If only I had space on my knuckles and that fit, loyal to the soil.
If it's LOIL, loyal to the soil. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're cooking.
Now we're doing something that can't be erased. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards Verdance, I think, because I just think it's funny because out of our locals, 4 of us are really excited about Verdance, and I'm like, I can't wait for that CC Armory where I have to play the mirror 3 times in a row. Like, that's going to be hilarious. One of our locals is like, I'm like, I would like to trade you for this drink them under the table. And they're like, I'm only looking for Verdance cards. I'm like, well, so am I, bro. So like, fucking pick one of these things or stop saying it's up for trade because this is what I have.
I'm going through that with everybody over here likes Lightning. And I think for the first time, I'm going to try a hardcore aggro deck, and I'm very excited about it. Because
I'm excited about this whole Flesh and Blood journey you have been on for all of 2024. You've been really on a journey, and I'm just proud of you.
I think that's a positive. Yes. I was doing Uzuri, right? Recently at the Battle Harden where you saw me lose. And I've been playing decks that go 50 freaking minutes pretty much every time. And it is very frustrating to see people jump up after their Zen game after 10 minutes. And you don't even have to ask who won. You're like, it's the Zen player that won because they don't lose in 10 minutes. And it's like, why am I purposely playing the hardest, get every juice out of every squeeze whenever I could just be doing, I'm going to play this card at instant speed, and now my sword gets go again, and +1, you didn't block, so I'm going to draw a card, and then I'm going to, electromagnetic gives the next one, here's E-Strike for 10, anything? Okay, I'll put a card in my arsenal. Oh, wait, make a a lightning embodiment. Like, everything about that deck is disgusting and gross and fun. The complaints I had about aggro decks in this game is it kind of was not paint by numbers, but it would tell you, play this card first. If you've played a red, now play this one. This one says Rupture on it. Play it at the end. It's the one thing I made fun of for our friend Phi. But it does feel like, even though there is some bonuses if you've played something before or you want to start with a lightning, it's different enough where you can fit in everything. And because they're instants, you can play them at different stuff. I'm excited to learn the Gone in the Flash stuff. I'm going to be so much more knowledgeable at the game. It's going to help me with that. But like, if we're doing Flab is a fighting game, I think the Reinars, the Boltons, and Aurora now kind of fits into this archetype of you have a few cool things to do. You don't have one line of this is the best thing to do. And that's kind of like learning all the like, oh, this is my Flicker Wisp turn. Oh, this is my different turn. And like, Flicker Wisp, or would you rather Flicker Wisp into Arc Lightning, or would you rather play Lumina twice? And it's like, everyone has practice blocking Lumina, but y'all don't have practice blocking this with Flicker Wisp thing. And like, everybody's gonna get good at it and etc. But like, I think I would wear my royal crown. Like, I'm Princess Aurora now. I've got the Aurora T-shirt. I've got the Aurora Marvel. I've got the cold foil Starfall. Like, I'm ready. I'm having a blast. I'm pretty sure for the 100th episode I'll go, that was a rough 2 weeks. I don't think I'll ever play aggro again, but it is something where I'm excited about this, and I want to, this is the one I chose, and I'm dumping hours into this because I think it's fun and interesting enough to play these cards in those windows, because I'm used to all my old windows and I'm used to my heroes of Spinal. That's it. Blood Rush, Claw, that's it. Like, this is windows upon windows upon windows, and now you screwed it up because you didn't have Go again, but you played that, and I'm going to go, oh, I'll learn this one. I'll screw it up again. I'll learn this one. I'll screw it up again. I'll learn this time. And like, I think that's just like a very interesting way to play an aggro deck. Is some people are playing sigils to like instant speed it to give it Go again or pop it back in your hand. I was like, that's a little weird. I don't think aggro deck should be gaining health, but it's something where I'm excited to lightning press. Like, I have lost so many fucking games to lightning press. I don't even know why I'm censoring myself. I've lost so many fucking games to lightning press. Now that I'm going to be the person lightning pressing people of, you blocked wrong, I'm going to draw 2 cards and I have Go again. Fuck you, bitch. Let's go and keep going. It's just going to be fun. And like, there's so many combos I don't even know about yet. And it feels like I'm legitimately going to lab out, like, here's the link combos that turn into, and this is all Street Fighter terms that make sense to people. And like, it literally feels like the Flicker Wisp Arc Lightning combo is like I have built enough meter and now I'm going to dump a hyper combo finish on you. And that shit's like what I love about Flesh and Blood is it does feel like a fighting game when you compartmentalize that in your head and you're like, I'm about to literally work your ass out, brother, because I have all these cards ready to go.
You heard it here. Blake's going to work your ass out. Let's go, Blake.
James White, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
James
You
Brown.
write down that time. Blake used a swear, so I gotta make sure I edit this last bit.
Oh, are we sponsored by people that care about that?
No
Yeah.
spoiler for the next 5 seasons.
I think
Blake.
the Church
wow.
of Latter-day Saints is one of our sponsors.
Oh shit! What if you had a Reinar crew and you guys called yourselves the Church of Splatter Day Saints?
Hey.
Freaking
Wait, let's
Yo,
quickly
Salt
get our
Lake City.
sponsors back.
You're welcome. You could take that.
Quiero Taco Bell. There we go. We're back. We're back.
We're back. We are sponsored by Taco Bell.
that I'm about to walk to right now.
Zane, what are you playing for ProQuest?
Yeah, I really should iron that out sooner than later.
I heard he was
think
playing new.
I'm my default is new. It's on the desk. If my Florian cards don't get here in time, it's likely going to be new. But I did order all the Florian cards except for 1 or 2. But I opened the Florian Marvel in my one case. Let's go.
Hey, let's go.
My first adult Marvel that I've opened.
Wow.
It's Destiny.
Yeah. So I think it'll be new. It'll be Florian or it'll be Viscerai. I'm very interested in Viscerai. I think he's underexplored. I think Snuff Out is getting underappreciated. I think he's soft to fatigue, which is the problem we have to solve without Rosetta Thorn, but I think he does a lot of things really well. So yeah, it's going to be one of the 2 Rune Blades or new, maybe Azalea here or there.
There's like
But yeah,
4 Rune Blades now, though, so you can't say one of the 2 Rune Blades.
One of the 2 Rune Blades that I've mentioned in the last couple seconds.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm just so excited. It doesn't even feel like Aurora's a Rune Blade, right, guys? It feels like she's a lightning hero.
She does feel very strongly lightning, which is sweet.
She's just slanging rune chants for fun.
But you get to play the full fridge, yeah.
Dude, shout out. I forgot this, but shout out to Declan and the fucking Dread Scythe.
Hell
running
yeah,
that
let's
in
go.
Florian. Feel however you want about 9 counter blessings and 3 sigils. But that was tight because it was just like, and I got blues. I'll just hit you with this. That's fun. It's like, hell
So
yeah.
fun. Love that. Colin, what are you playing for ProQuest?
When is ProQuest season? For those
2
of
weeks.
us.
Couple weeks, yeah.
I'll be playing, packing up my house and move. But maybe if I go, I would play Kano. I gotta find these new lists that came out of the Bloom and Plume Brawl Bash of Sydney, Australia, and see what they're all about and see what cards I need, because my boy Kano is still here and he's still a threat and he's getting closer to that LL point. So I just need to bask in his time. There was like 5 minutes in between Rose pre-release and now where it was like, oh, Kano's not going to be very good anymore, so maybe I won't play him. But now it's like, yeah, he's still good. Let's go.
We're so back.
We're so
We're
back.
still there.
We
He's
never
in the
left. I
top
didn't even
5
have time
of
to
living
leave.
legends.
I was just on my way out looking at the door, and then the Kano theme song came back on.
And that sounds like
Kano's music.
what does that sound
There's actually like an Italian psych rock band called Kano that's pretty good.
Oh,
You
yeah,
should check
there
it
is,
out. It sounds just like that, but maybe a little more disco-y. And
Yeah. Could you hum that for us a little bit, or?
No, you gotta support us on Patreon to get my
Hey,
theme song.
good plug. Before we get out of here, do you guys want to rank the last few sets Marvels in order?
Yeah,
Wait, the last few sets?
kind of
Oh, yeah.
since the dawn of
Since
Marvels.
existed
Since the dawn of Marvels.
with dragons in
Do you,
Uprising,
do you have like a list of them? Should I,
We're going to do it right now.
Dragons.
We got dragons.
angels,
Angels.
weird things from
are we
Bright
ranking
light.
types of Marvels or like
Cheese.
individual Marvels?
No, the groupings, like
Yeah.
the dragons.
Steel Souls is what that's
as a
called.
whole.
Or
those
Evos.
those don't count, or no, that's easy. The Evos go on the bottom, the
Yes.
worst.
Sigils.
They don't even have a backside. What the fuck are we? Why? How are they a Marvel?
Oh my
Heroes.
The
god! You're
armory.
strongly feeling
Okay,
this.
Heroes, number one, take them out. We're talking about cards in the deck.
Yeah, heroes automatically win, so it's boring.
What
Okay.
else? Dragons, Angels, Chi, Evos, Sigils.
The armory stuff from Dynasty. No, not
Oh,
Dynasty.
the weapons.
Oh,
Marvel.
black weapons, black borders.
Well, they were like from the Emperor's armory, right? That was the
Yeah.
That was the idea. I think that's it.
Okay, so that's 3.
Because heavy hitters, the only Marvels and heavy hitters were the heroes.
Oh, that's because they don't care about those classes, and I'm not afraid to say it anymore. It is really cool to see what they can come up with new wizard cards and new Runeblade cards that really seem chaotic and creative. Because I guess they really care about those classes.
And that's why we don't get spoilers. That's fair. Fine.
Yeah.
Tell the truth, Blake. Tell the truth. Love
Miss-
it.
Oh, look, there's 3 heroes that they kind of care about those classes, and they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh, Siren's Call? That's the best Intimidate card that's ever existed. Why is it on a freaking assassin?
8%. That's why we're feeling saucy. Okay.
Take it all out.
Here we go.
boom.
What's number 1 here? Okay, wait. We know already Evo's
Let's start at the bottom.
number 6.
Evo's
are
on
the
the
worst.
bottom.
Number 6. They're
Evos,
the worst. Okay.
They freaking suck.
What's above Evo's?
The weapons, dynasty weapons.
You think so? I agree.
Really?
Colin, confer.
I think so, but shout out to my kimono because it's
Oh,
dope.
shit. That is
If they were better, it's a different story. But I think the fact that like none of those had real like impact for
Surge
a
and
long time.
Ethertide and Kimono are coming back.
I
They're
have.
the only tune that I have.
I traded. Shout out to Thor Mike. I traded him Marvel Rock for Marvel Surge and Aethertide, and I was like, "This feels like a bad trade because the Rock is pretty sick, but I love
betting
Thor.
against brute cards always work, baby.
And he deserves to have this card." And now I'm super rewarded. So sorry, Thor Mike.
I have the great bow and the ninja chest, which
Ooh, I had a Blazing Yori. Also, I traded that to somebody. I'm not sure who. Probably.
and I have the tiara.
I have a question from someone who hasn't seen it. Are the sigils are one sided? They're not
Correct.
doubles.
Yes, they're one-sided.
I would say I'd rather have. I get that the weapons aren't great, but I would rather have a weapon than a sigil as a one of.
Ooh.
Sigils go in the deck though,
Yeah.
which is cool.
I would
It's
rather
close.
have a weapon.
It's close. It's one of the two. Like those are.
I
That's
think
four-
I'm with Blake. I think,
But like Hanabi Blaster is sick, right?
Yes,
like,
I love
is-
Hanabi Blaster.
Is Hanabi Blaster sicker than Sigil of Earth?
Yes, I would rather have a really cool like. I don't know why they didn't do more black cards like that. Oh, I get it's the Emperor's thing, but like the lore, I don't know. I said this earlier before we started recording, but the lore of making some cards look cooler than others. There's not. I'm not reading novels in between the sets where I'm like, I gotta read the 600-page book of why Ira's coming back before she comes out in November, or I'm not gonna understand the game. And if you're ever building your deck or your Marvels or your specializations based around lore that someone's supposed to read, I'm kind of like, this loses our fighting game stuff.
all right, I do have an amendment. We're missing a couple Marvels.
Nazareth?
Nitro Mechanoid.
Oh, okay. We'll add it in there.
But that's kind of like a one-off thing.
that's
and then
tough.
there are the Demon Lords, and
Yeah.
also Leviah Redeemed and
Are
Last
those
time I consumed.
Those are like the one-offs though, because that falls in with like the Rosetta
Heroes.
Thorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
we also
like-
forgot about the Codexes, Zane.
Oh my god.
All right.
Bro.
Codexes. We got to add that.
Rewind
to
the tape.
Rewind
Go back.
the
in
tape.
time.
Those don't even count. They're not on the list. They're number
Did-
one.
They automatically win.
Okay.
So what are we doing here?
Here, well, that is a contentious. We might not all feel the same.
Some people don't like the codexes.
Some people don't like them. Is Nitro Mechanoid and the Demons, is that the same set? No. That's Dynasty.
There's only one demon.
versus
double-sided.
Nazareth.
Thistledon and then Nitro Mechanoid.
Monarch, it was like a separate thing
Dynasty.
of like, I don't even know how you got them.
Rudy promo.
Can we lump that into one category?
The one-offs.
We could call it accoutrement.
I like
It's tough, though,
Construct Demi Heroes.
because like the Leviathan one is incredible.
And like, there's a
We haven't even said
Marvel
the Emperor
singularity,
Marvel.
right? There's a
That's a
Marvel
hero.
singularity.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, the Marvel Singularity too. Yeah, so it's like Demi Hero, Demon
Okay.
Demi Hero.
So should we say like
constructs.
the ones that have like sets, like
Demi / demon /
because like Singularity is
Mech.
not a set.
Mechy.
There's no sets of any of these. There's no set for
totally.
Rosetta.
Those, I think those are unique enough. We'll add them in. We're going to add them in. So we still got dragons, angels, chi, evos, sigils, weapons, codices, and demons / demis / mechies.
All right, so Steel Soul Evos go to 8.
Yeah.
And now we're arguing weapons versus sigils.
I can accept sigils at 7. I think that they're cooler
I-
than
I think they are. The sigils are cooler. It's just like the colors on them are better. The weapons, when you look at them, they all kind of just look the same.
They do.
And
Sandscour, Great Bow. The shield is
Let's
pretty
put
sick.
weapon 7 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, weapon 7. Those are pretty sick.
I'm very happy with sigils at 6 though. Like
Dude.
I think that they are kind of meh. Like they're okay.
We should have done this as a tier list.
When that shield came out for spoiled Scrover or whatever, for
Yeah, Savior,
For
whatever it is.
it looked so cool, and then it was in no decks.
Season
Savior. It looks so sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Steel Souls, then Marvel, or then weapons / equipment from Dynasty,
And
and we have
Is-
sigils.
I would argue maybe for demons / demis / mechies to fight a little bit with the sigils here.
Wrong.
It's gonna be slightly above the sigils because the Leviathan Demi Hero
Yeah,
carries
there's
so
some
hard.
sick ones in there.
Then the singularity is sick. Fucking
Singularity is still
micropotent.
too.
Okay.
The fact that they moved his like stuff so it was like under him instead of to the left of him, I was like, let's go.
Oh, really? That was like my
This is
least
card
favorite part.
design. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll put demons / demis / mechies at 5 then.
Yeah. So wait, what do we have
Above
left?
sigils.
So we have codexes, dragons, angels, and chi.
E. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the top 4.
Yeah. This is the tough one.
Go
This
ahead
is
and
where it
dump
gets
those
hard.
codexes off at 4 then, because they're not in the top 3. Because there's only 3 of them.
I don't
There's
know.
only 3 of them. All the rest are sets, and they're very cool to collect them all.
So
Codexes does not have that, and
you're
they're
drawing the
fucking
line-
hard to draw.
like you're drawing the line at double-sided then a little bit, where you're saying like the double-sided ones, the angels, the dragons, and the chi have separated themselves.
There's at least 8 of all of those, right? How many dragons are there total? 8 plus
More
some
than
more
8.
because of the legends.
Okay, so
Ether Ashwings too.
I could accept codexes at 4, but I don't agree. But I can understand it.
okay, so let's talk about dragons because it's first real double-sided situation. Most of the dragons I feel like pretty mid. Like the Mai, mid. Uvia,
Yeah, fuck them.
pretty mid, right? But fucking Tumultai
Asvalai, baby.
goes so hard. That's like the only Marvel dragon I look at and I'm like, I should just buy that because I want to own that because it's so sick. But then like Dominia's fine. You know what I mean? So like this is my thing for maybe bumping dragons down is there's maybe too many just okay ones. You know what I mean? Compared to something like Angels, Chi,
You just say
Codexes.
Thamai ruined the party, so it just knocked him down a whole peg. Like
Chromai too. You know?
Hey,
Might
careful.
not.
That's Acer. A sir. The one thing about the dragons that I don't love is that it's the same art on both sides. That just always felt kind of weird.
I don't want to ruin the codexes for you, but it got ruined for me once. And
You can't. They're unruinable for
the
me.
thin yellow stripe at the top of the codex
Doesn't bother me.
bothers me
Can't even see it.
enough for the both of us.
Nope. Don't care.
And the fact that whenever I say yes, I do want one of those, is it $270 still?
The Codex, there's literally nothing else like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
I
gotta
would
be
have
in the
to
top
put-
3. I would
gotta
put
put
dragons
dragons
down
next.
there.
Yeah. Dragons are 4. That's my vote.
You don't give
Dragons
them
are
any
4.
points for being the OG.
No.
No. That's like
I will
saying
say this
George
Those are some of the
Washington-
biggest Stromae haters I've ever
George
heard of.
Washington is the
You
best
hate Joe
president because he was the first one. And that's not true. He's like a 21-year-old drunk guy with wooden teeth and fucking
So,
slaves. He was stupid.
There's somebody that loves our podcast that tunes in and goes, Blake always talks crap about Dromai. Here's why it's easier to talk crap, because man, they hate Dromai so much it's hard to talk to these guys, you know. But I tried my best, but dragons are number 4.
Look, there's a saying. It's called first and worst. Also, Starvo was the first Marvel.
Oh my god.
So
Hero doesn't count.
I know,
Hero
but
doesn't
just
count.
in general. In general.
Okay, top 3. Top 3: Chi, Angels, and Codexes.
This is where we're dropping off codexes.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Wow.
That's 3
That's
votes.
crazy.
You're
That's
going to
crazy.
Hollywood.
That's crazy. Okay.
I mean,
So dragons,
it's not that
dragons
hard.
are 4. Codexes are 3.
The Chi cards go so hard.
The Angels are 2 and Chi is number 1.
The
for me.
only thing Angels got on them is that they're double-sided with unique art on both sides, and it's sick.
That is a huge.
So,
huge
wait, I
thing.
guess Angels win. The Angels win.
No.
The Angels
Stuff
win the
we
pennant.
haven't heard in years. I would go Angels 1, but the art
Over Chi?
the art on Chi is
The art on
like
Chi is so
they
good.
put their whole
That's
frickin'
how good it
mind
is that they don't need a backside to be even
okay.
considered. as
Here's
at
what
the
you're
top.
really gonna ask me right now, and I'll
But even
answer the
back is
question.
good.
Here's what you asked me: do all of us have all Marvel cheese?
I do.
I'm missing 1.
I do, and I don't
Yeah,
have
I do.
any of the other Marvel collections at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So I've already made this decision in my head and got all the Marvel cheese because
The-
they are the coolest.
I'm missing
That's sick, Colin. Get those.
what's the Phoenix one? Why can't I remember it right now?
Rising Sun, Setting
Rising Sun.
Moon.
Yeah.
Setting.
I don't have that one because it went to like $80 and I
It's
was
down to like 50-ish. You can get one for 50.
perfect. I will get one for 50 then. So
Well, that was my birthday present for you this year.
whoa. Just send it
Buy
now.
the 2.
Send it now.
Go to the
The
post office.
flipping for first playing a Chi and then flipping and then pitching it, in my opinion, brings me more joy than it does searching through my deck for my Figment and then it sitting out there and then me maybe flipping that to an Angel later and being like,
You've never
the
flipped an angel in your life.
That's so true.
You're
So
a
true.
liar.
I will say, as someone who has done the Arclight loop and stuff to people, moving all the angels around with all their figments feels really good.
As
But is
someone,
it cooler than pitching Chi?
No, it's not. I'm saying Chi's number 1.
Yeah,
I'm saying
okay.
Chi's number
I
1.
think
just-
we're all agreed. Angels
locking it
2, Chi 1.
Okay, we got
as
it.
someone who played Prism in September 2023, I only had 4 Figments in my deck on purpose because of my game plan. but I put extra chi in every deck I play, and I play all 9 chi in every deck, and even when it doesn't make sense, because I like that shit so much.
Let me
Just
get
got
that deck
9
with
chi and
extra
Reinhardt
chi.
right now.
I need that extra chi.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here we
Extra
go.
cheesy.
Running it down from the bottom to the top. Evos, number 8.
Boo.
Boo.
Weapons, number 7.
Kind of cool.
Sigils, number 6.
Eh?
Demons, Dimmies, and Mechis, number 5.
Nice.
Dragons are number 4. Codexes are number 3. Angels are number 2. And Chi is number 1.
You're welcome.
That's our
We got a
definitive Marvels list.
Heroes number 0 for anyone
Yeah,
who
tier S tier. Can't beat that ever.
Except Starvo, piece of shit. Go to hell. Die.
He's already there.
The final question I want to, and this is a one-word answer question before we get out of here. Is this the best year of Flesh and Blood in the history of the game, 2024? Which is heavy hitters into Mistvale into Rosetta.
yes.
You
Zane
said
says
one
yes.
word answer?
Yeah. So
So I'm going to have to slur because I'll go no.
Probably.
I'm also going to go yes.
I
That's
said
our
probably
show.
because I've missed most of it, so I don't know. And it makes me sad if it is.
I'll go no.
Perfect. That's
I
great.
got you on that.
We'll talk about that on episode 100. Thank you, everybody, for being here for 99. Thank you all who have completed the 1 through 99 journey with us or are getting to that right now. We love you. I love my co-hosts. I look forward to this every time we do it. Wish we would pod every day and hang out.
We could if you all joined Patreon
Yeah.
now.
Our
Yeah.
draft is going to feel like it's every day when we do it again next week. Our draft's
Oh, yeah.
coming up.
Our draft is coming
Just
up.
kidding.
It is coming up. It's coming up. If you're
It's
here,
coming up.
you know it's happening.
If you know. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of the hosts of this podcast. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.